Hello. Today we're going to talk about relations and functions. Relations are just a set of ordered pairs. They can be in the form of just a list of ordered pairs, or they can be in the form of a formula, where y equals 2x plus 1. That would be an example of a relation. But basically, it's a set of ordered pairs. Now, ordered pairs, as you remember, are the two numbers that determine the location of a point, left or right and up and down. Most commonly look like parentheses x comma y, x comma y. So the next couple vocab words are domain and range. Domain is the x term, range is the y term. Just fancy ways of saying what comes in the x, what moves it left and right. Range, what moves it up and down. It's the y terms. It's the second number that comes in the parentheses. The domain is also is often the place where the independent variable goes. Now, independent variable is what comes first. So oftentimes, this is going to be time. Time is going to tick away no matter what. It's completely independent of what else is happening. The y, on the other hand, is what do we do with that time? That's what depends on how much time has gone by. What depends on what's chosen for the domain. So the y is what happens after that. Dependent, it depends on it. Now, with these relations, we can display them many ways. Another option of showing a relation is called mapping. And this is one example of saying, showing a relationship. On the one hand, I have the domain on the left, 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are all my x numbers. The range on the right, 5, 6, 7, those are all my y numbers. And we draw arrows. So 1 goes with 5, 2 goes with 7, 3 goes with 6, 4 goes with 7. So you can show a set of a relation showing this mapping idea. Now a function is a specific type of relationship. A function has only one y for each and every x. So if you look back up at the mapping idea, it's kind of like, and I keep thinking of the Hillshire Farm commercial, if I say 1, you say 5. If I say 2, you say 7. If I say 3, you say 6. If I say 4, you say 7. Now, as long as you always know exactly what to answer, then it's a function. However, if I have a domain and a range, and I say 1, 2, 3, and say the range is 5, 6, 7, but I say 1, you say 5, if I have another 1 and 6 also, if I had something like this, if I say 1, you're not sure whether to say 5 or 6. It could be either. This is an example of not a function. So functions only get one y for each and every x. So if you put in an x, you get a y. Now something about this function notation, we call it f of x. And f of x means y. It replaces y. So if I have a y equals 2x plus 1, if y equals 2x plus 1 is a function, which it is, I can replace that y with an f of x. So f of x equals 2x plus 1. Now what's so good about this? Well, f of x has a place for your x term. So when I put in f of 3, I can say, okay, so I'm going to put in a 3 in the x spot. So I put a 3 in the x, I get 2 times 3 plus 1. Well, 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So this will equal f of 3 equals 7. What's nice about that? I don't have just simply y equals 7. I know that my y is going to be 7, but I also know that it's 7 when x was 3. So it's kind of a nice way to show what you started with, especially if you have a lot to list. Okay, another way to test, is it a function if it's not mapping, is what if it's graphed? If you have a line that's graphed, we have what's called the vertical line test. And the vertical line test checks every vertical line to make sure that there's no more than 1 point on it. Because if there's more than 1 point, then it's not a function. There's 2 y's for each x. So I graphed our function f of x equals 2x plus 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vertical line, and I'm going to check on each and every vertical line, is there any point where there is more than 1 point on that line touching the vertical line? And no, there's not. So it keeps going on forever, ever in a straight line. That means every vertical line has only one y to it. And so, yeah, this is a function. If I had a different equation, something shaped more like this, and I took my vertical line, well, right away here, there are 2 points that for each x. So that fails the vertical line test. So the black is a function, the green is not. Thanks a lot. Hope this helps.